Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up? What up? What's good, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
What's up, nerds? Oh yeah, we're back with 2 chapters because everything else is on break. But we're very excited because this has prompted us to actually add a special series to the lineup. Not this week, but next week. We'll reveal it next week. So yeah, it's going to be something pretty exciting. But until then, we're going to have a little fun short show today. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37, that's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh, that's on Twitter.
Hey, Brian.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Ooh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Emails at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we will talk about it on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. We don't have any more questions to answer right now. I think we're caught up with our backlog. So question away and enjoy the show. You can subscribe to the podcast itself on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Where whatever platform you use, we're on there. I'm currently working on uploading the backlog to the YouTube because I've fallen behind on that. But once I have a couple exported, I'll be putting up YouTube episodes every day. So I guess for the next 10 days or so, there'll be like a backlogged episode up every day. But yeah, subscribe to us on that, like, share, all that stuff. Give us a 5-star review on the audio platforms. Yeah, spoiler alerts ahead. Let's get this show started.
ブラッディクロス
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 250. We made it. Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 250, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown, part 22. Last we left off, Itadori and Okotsu are fighting Sukuna, and Okotsu has activated his domain, the authenticity in mutual love, which we get an explanation of what that is in this opening page. Basically, Okotsu has the ability to activate, once he activates his domain, they're surrounded by katanas, and each katana represents a curse technique that he has copied over the years. And when Okotsu uses one of the katanas, it applies the can't miss attack that is customary to domains to that curse technique. So the katanas are at random, so even he doesn't know which curse technique he picks up until he actually touches the katana. So, and every time he uses it, a curse technique, it evaporates, it disappears. So he can only use every technique once, it seems. But the number of swords is unlimited. So I'm trying to think of the interpretation of that, because it doesn't say that he can't use it again. They say that the swords are unlimited. So I imagine that once he uses it one time, it doesn't mean the technique's gone forever. It's just in another sword somewhere. because there's an unlimited amount of swords, and he obviously has not copied an unlimited amount of techniques. I think that would be that's not the right assumption to make. So basically, and he uses a technique over a couple times over, to be honest. But anyway, the fight continues. You know, it's a lot of action, to be honest. Rika and Itadori are just like hitting him heavy with these attacks. Sukuna starts thinking to himself about how the curse technique that displaces the he's like, was that a curse technique that places the inviolable barrier on the Shikigami's trajectory? I don't know, Sukuna. But basically, Sukuna thinks that, like, you know, thanks to the fight with Gojo, he still can't use his domain, and he's not 100% on his reverse curse technique, so his healing is weakened to a degree. His overall cursed energy is about the same as the possessed brats, which would be Okotsu, I think he's referring to. He can't use Dismantle, which has the broad strike that cuts the world, so, and also do Hollow Wicker Basket at the same time. And on top of that, he's also, you know, dealing with Itadori and Rika, so it's not going great. He's saying that they're applying the same principle that allowed the boys' attacks to have an effect on the patch face curse. They're targeting the boundary between his soul and Megumi's soul. So every time he takes an attack from Itadori, his cursed energy output drops, and his physical control decreases. So they intend to chip away at him until he can't maintain Hollow Wicker Basket, and then use the Angel's technique to remove the cursed object from inside Fushiguro. So, you know, all this to say they're trying to, like, create openings for getting Fushiguro out of Sukuna. And you know, we see that he's about to activate, I guess, Cleave on Itadori, but
he was
Right on his chest.
whew. But then Okotsu uses I forget his name, but Inumaki, his curse technique, saying don't move, and then he hits him with the thin icebreaker, sending him flying. Sukuna's on the ropes a little bit, although he still manages to get a good hit on them with Cleave. He kicks the shit out of Rika. But she knocks him back in exchange, I think. And he's just like, it doesn't need to be harder than that, but unless it makes contact and the cuts equal to the guy's attack, it will never deliver a fatal wound. So, you know, his curse technique isn't just low because he was fighting Gojo. It's also because of Jujutsu Hai's defenses coming out in great numbers. So there's a lot going on that's weakening Sukuna right now. And he's like, what did you do in the past month? Itadori says, worked hard and persevered. And Okotsu's like, I cheated.
And they both was like, huh?
Wait, what?
What?
Okotsu is just like, if it wasn't for the fight against Gojo, he probably would have killed us by now.
Yeah.
You know, they have to settle it right now, is what they both pretty much decide on. And Okotsu uses, I think his name is Charles, the future guy, the guy who can see the future using his technique. He's fulfilled the conditions for ink, and he manages to predict Sukuna's attacks and counter him. Then they start jumping him just straight up, and Sukuna's just thinking to himself, like, all of the techniques that are being used on him right now, the Jacob's ladder, the woman's technique involving, you know, using space as a single surface, the inviolable barrier on the Shikigami's trajectory, curse speech, precognition, and he's like, limitless curse technique? No, 6 eyes are necessary to control that. So is that it? He's like, even Sukuna leaves an opening. Oh no, now Okotsu thinks to himself, is like, even Sukuna leaves an opening when encountering a technique for the first time, so that should do even more. And then he grabs a katana and he's like, this is it. He gets closer and he uses like that space thing to cloak himself, and then he makes a stab towards Sukuna, but Sukuna grabs the katana, and then Okotsu says cleave, and then the cleave starts to appear, like Sukuna's face starts getting cut up, and he's like, this is my technique, I imagine, is the end of that sentence. But that's the end of the chapter. Ooh-wee. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 250?
What can I say? This chapter was fucking lit. There's only 2 of them, but RGC
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
RGC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Let's get that out the way.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Yeah, let's get into it. So I thought it was really interesting how like most of the copy abilities Okotsu is using were all ones he seems like to not have been around to witness. So it really made me think about like what are the conditions for his copy ability, right? Is it just word of mouth? Like, yo, man, this guy had an ability and it did this, and that, and he's just like, oh, okay, thanks. Is it that easy? 'Cause
I
he
would
didn't see
imagine.
that. Oh,
I
maybe.
think the only one he didn't really experience was the ink one. But he's on his side. So
No, he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought about
So it's
that.
I
That was
think
the person they showed in the panel.
yeah, and
right?
that little panel where he's like, "What's going on in the barrier?" That was Charles, whose ink belongs to.
Yeah.
So I think all he needs to do is like,
He's seen the icebreaker.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. These are all like techniques of people he's been around.
yeah, you're right. I don't know about the Shikigami one with the inviolable. I don't know if that's Gojo's thing. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but
But whatever. With that said, though, I'm still holding out hope, but it'd be really nice to see like certain like curse techniques from like the classmates. Like it would have been nice to see Nobara's. That'd be really cool. You throw the sword at his like to
yeah, residents.
Rika or something like that. Yeah, and then like she stabs Sukuna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could do something cool. They could do
Unfortunately,
something
with
cool that.
Nobara-
Get past to the Itadori.
Unfortunately, with Nobara, we don't know. They couldn't have met.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he hasn't seen her technique or been around her. He's never met Nobara.
Yeah.
Until
Now that I
soon.
think about it, all the other abilities are like even from the other class, like the guy with the blood techniques, that's a family thing.
Yeah.
Only Sukuna could copy
By
that
the
'cause
way,
he's that guy.
in theory, he could use Boogie Woogie because he knows Toto.
Yo, that would be crazy.
Honestly, when I thought he was going to use it during one of those panels when he was in the air.
Yeah, it's just not his choice. You know what I mean? Like the techniques appear at random.
Well, it's Akutame's choice, but
Yeah, sure, but
maybe there's still time. There's still time. I mean, he just hit your boy in the face with a cleave. I know Sakuda's not dead, but he's that's gonna be tough.
oh, he's tight.
Yeah, man. Why was my favorite part of this entire comic? When he stands folding his arms, looking at them, like when he asks them, "What did y'all do to pass?" I'm like, "Damn, y'all have improved." And it's just so funny because Okotu and Itadori, like both answered so honestly, which is why they both said, "Huh," because of like they just have such different perspectives, and like neither is like specifically negative or positive. It's just like Itadori knew I worked really hard to get to where I'm at right now, and Okotu just understands that, man. If it wasn't for us coming at Sukuna in waves, I would be in no position to go toe to toe with him. So I really enjoyed that, and it kind of like further supported the two main character aspect going on here. They really. Okosu has the floor a bit more because he just pulled up to the scene and
He's got
he's
seniority.
joining the fight. But like it really does feel like these are two characters that both equally hold a lot of like story weight, not just like combat or like you know, yeah, just neither of them can't just lose. It's gonna be a really, really big deal. Um, this fight is a treat, man. So I'm gonna end it there. I have one more thought. Um, in on page was that page 14? The same page where he was like, where they said, "Oh, cheat, work hard and persevere." He Sukuna mentions that, oh, it doesn't need to be harder than that, but unless it makes contact and cuts equal to that guy's attack, and then they have a picture of Sukuna facing against the volcano head guy that Okotu fought. I wonder if they're like saying that's the amount of output they need. And like maybe I wonder if Sukuna knows that Okosu fought him. You know, because if he doesn't, then he doesn't know that Okosu has something up his sleeve of that output.
Yeah.
So there's some things that can happen. All right, that's it. Brian, what are your thoughts?
This was another classic Gege fucking choreography masterclass, because man, he just knows how to write a fight scene. He just knows. It's in his fucking blood. He is one of the best at it by far, and it's not even close. Really, really fun chapter to read. It's fun to see all of the little intricacies of curse technique being busted out here. Seeing Yuji be kind of like a untouchable target, or like an unblockable target for Sukuna, is pretty interesting, because it kind of adds more to the fact that Yuji is just extremely fucking annoying to this guy. Like, he doesn't really have a countermeasure for him, and that's mainly because Yuta makes it really hard for that to happen, you know. So they are both like accomplishing their own goals at the same time while fighting, while Yuji is more like supportive than anything, I'd say. Um, it's still really fun to see, like, they both have their role in this fight, and it's really hard for Sukuna to figure out how to get around it. So it's only, well, obviously it's only a matter of time before Sukuna cracks the code, but it's really fun to see it be done this way. And this is a really rare case for a shonen manga anyway, because you have two protagonists like characters, you know, duking it out. So I don't know, great chapter, very well done.
I mean, yeah, agreed. So fucking good. um, yeah, I think like it's so cool that like the way they nerf Sukuna in a way by forcing him to use two of his hands and the stomach mouth to keep his hollow wicker basket going, so he can avoid the don't miss hit. But that would still just open him up to physical attacks that are coming from Yuji and from Rika. So it's just like kind of brutal all around. I'm wondering how Sukuna gets out of this one, because I'm still not convinced that Akutami is going to break our hearts here.
He gets out of it once he's able to do his domain expansion again, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because they keep him using curse technique to just like keep doing the domain. So I think like it's just he'll just never reach a point where he's going to be able to do his domain, because he has to fucking keep up with so much shit going on around him.
Yeah.
His output is decreased every time Yuji hits him. So I don't know. But he'll probably find a way to do his domain. They'll probably just do it. But yeah, I'm so excited for what comes next. So glad that it's not off next week, because I'm gonna need to for this to keep going. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have much thoughts. It was so cool. Such a fun chapter to read. This fight is awesome. It's so cool to see Okotsu's domain be actually very cool.
Yeah.
You know?
As creative as it can be, with
Ye-
it being a copy-based strategy.
Yeah, my whole thing is that like if he could use a technique once, if he could only use it once per katana use, how come he can keep using thin icebreaker? You know what I mean? Like he's using like that woman's technique a bunch of times.
Yeah, he used it.
I'm kind
Well,
of
he used it
confused at the
twice,
wording
I
here
think.
because he says that even Okotsu doesn't know which curse technique is in a particular katana until he takes it in his hand. Each katana disappears after it releases its curse technique, but the number of swords is unlimited. So I don't know what that really means. Does that mean that, he just picks a sword and he just has that technique?
Yeah,
Maybe
he
he's
has a
just
one-time
lucky and he
use
keeps
on
getting
it.
the same one.
That's exactly what happened. He only got it twice.
Well, he used it a bunch. He used
Which
it
is
again when he disappeared before he used cleave. You know that space thing.
Yeah, he just used it twice.
Hmm.
And he used it in the chapter before, I think.
He used it once in the chapter
When the
before.
fight first started.
He used it again to, warp space and stuff. And he's
That's not
pulling.
the icebreaker move to warp space.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Thin icebreaker. Oh, is that the cannon head kid?
No, the
No,
icebreaker
isn't that
is the girl. Is the
That's what I'm
like the
saying because he's doing it.
the ice sorcerer, right?
no,
No.
the icebreaker is
Oh, you're talking about you're right. That's that Sky Ladies
Yeah,
with the warping of the space. Yeah, he keeps getting that one.
yeah, he keeps using it. I don't know. I'm gonna Google it real fast because I need to
No,
know.
you know what? I meant to say that, like, and I was hoping one day I would comment on it, it- like he keeps using that technique where he where you could see he's grabbing like space, and that was that girl's technique, but he used it a handful of times. You're right. And at least this chapter, at least one.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
Two. Yeah, man, he was spamming this shit.
Mm,
like maybe there's
Nah,
several
that's
copies of the
different.
same technique
that's what
on
I'm
the
thinking
blade.
is that he picks up like the katana disappears, but the technique still exists in the katanas. He could in theory pick it again, but he keeps picking it. He keeps ending up with it because
That's
it's
what I'm
supposed.
saying. He keeps getting it, which is I guess I'm willing to chalk it up to luck. It's just weird that Gigi decided to make him use it so much. It was an interesting decision.
Okay, his breaking down. Damn it, I can't find a explanation. Whatever. Maybe this is just taking too long. We'll just have to.
He got cleaved in his motherfucking face.
Okay.
I'm really
How it
proud of
works.
Itadori.
Okay, so Utah's domain manufacturer is tied to his
Yeah,
innate technique. For those who are, he has the copy. This domain expansion is so incredible that it allows Utah to land unrestricted copy techniques as his sure attack hit. This simply means that Utah's sure hit attacks see him utilize any technique that he's copied over the past years without any restrictions. He can use them repeatedly as many times as he wants, and they will always land, which just makes him truly special. Furthermore, oh wow. Yeah, I guess like this, they're interpreting it as that like once he draws a technique, he could just use it with impunity, which is kind of nuts.
As long as he picks up a sword.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man. That is banana.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That makes sense because that's why Sukuna was counting them. It was like, what else? Are you getting Jacob's Ladder, which is the built-in one?
Okay,
The
so
curse technique treating space as a
here's
surface. Curse technique plays an
one
invulnerable barrier on the
becomes
shaker enemy's
okay.
trajectory.
So I think I found something. The number of swords within the domain are said to be unlimited, but each of the copied technique fades away once they're used. So, as fans seen throughout the chapter, there are copied techniques from other opponents he's defeated or seen in the culling game, and as the cupper. Oh, what? That doesn't explain anything. One becomes katanas, and the others are filtered through into many. They're filled with domain at random. And Yuta figures out what the. That's so confusing. I don't know. It's confusing because it feels like they're saying that Okotsu's the technique he draws disappears with the katanas, but he's using certain techniques several times over. It selects one curse technique from among those he's copied and stockpile grants it to the barrier for as a can't miss attack.
My best
Yeah, I'm just
explanation
confused. Maybe
is
somebody
that
in the
once
comments
he gets
can-
an ability, listen, I think once he gets an ability, he can use any of those stockpiled abilities at choice. When he picks up a katana, you know, especially if it already has one of those abilities in it, perhaps. But when he picks up a new one, he just adds it to his stockpile, you know, and no one knows until he uses it. So he could have a few more techniques ready since he's picked up a few more swords. And I mean, you know, it's his domain. It sounds super broken, but it also makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish. I guess like that's my only criticism of this chapter. I wish it was like more clear the specifics about the katanas and their significance as to what, like when they disappear. That when they disappear, does that mean that the curse technique is gone, or is that he just has the Sky Lady's technique already drawn? And he could just use that because he drew it. The katana disappears as like I guess a formality or an encouragement for him to pick up a different sword.
Right. Which doesn't really seem very clean,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to let it go.
Yeah, maybe they'll clarify next chapter. But that's really all I have about Jujutsu Kaisen outside of that. It's kind of confusing, but overall pretty lit. All right. With that being said, that was Jujutsu Kaisen. We ready to move on to the next one?
Either.
All right. Let's go. Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm gonna toss this one over to Jerish.
What up, everybody? This is Undead Unlock, chapter number 194. Beast. Last week, Fuko was continuing her duel with Unstoppable, also known as Top. He has a whole name. It's really extra.
Top Bull
I'm
Sparks.
gonna say it again in the chat. Bull Spark.
Top
Bull Spark. Yeah, that's pretty lit. So they was fighting, and ended up causing a landslide, and in the midst of a landslide, almost hitting his mother and his family and such. The wicked rule, the super duper secret, untouchable,
Super duper mega
badass rule.
awesome.
I'm trying to make this as epic as possible for you guys. That one of these rules. I mean, it is epic. I'm just keeping it real. So, yeah, Beast shows up, and he screams at a landslide, and it stops. Pretty crazy. And that leads us to the beginning of this chapter. So, Beast is getting gully immediately. He's like, "Who wants it? Who wants it? Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna fight?" And before anybody can say anything, he pulls up to Fuko and gets punched. She gets punched right in the face. Beast then jumps up and into the moonlight, and it looks very thematic and quite frankly awesome. everyone's nervous. And Fugo's like, apocalypse. And he's like, yeah. What? She's talking about, is it possible to issue a point transfer without being present at the round table? And he was like, yeah. Juiz gave roles to the round table so that I guess people wouldn't know that it was Arc. Whatever. Maybe we could talk about that later. But Apocalypse was mad about that, of course. So Fugo's like, all right, so like I'm about to pick the 3 participants to in the neutralization of Uma Beast. So first is Fuko Izumo, unlock. And the last 2 will be, and then before she has to say it, Beast pulls up to top and Haruka, that's her name, right? Haruka?
Yeah.
Yeah, Unbreakable. And she got wounded. Her ears got violated by Beast, which sounds kind of crazy. But when he yelled, she covered Top's ears and exposed herself. So she's weak. And he pulls up to them like, "Yo, that's my kill. I'm about to eat her. Move." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, people aren't food." And he's like, "Nigga, you was just talking earlier about survival of the fittest, and you love the Order of the Beast." And then as he's talking, all these animals start to pull up, and so does my cat Coco. Wow, that's funny. Hi, Coco.
Oh, I wonder, is my cat here?
Gonna say something?
No.
She's not gonna say nothing. So, yeah. So all these animals from the forest start pulling up and surrounding Top and Haruka, and he's like, "Oh, what? You thought it was 1-on-3? I'm the of beast. Every beast that dwells in this forest is your enemy." So he says, "Run." And then, he's talking shit like, "Oh, this is about this the fittest. Appreciate this master rule." So Uko bucks a few shots at him, and he catches them all with his teeth. Wow, that's pretty badass.
Pretty cute, quite edge. Brian, you would love
and
this
he's
guy.
Like, look,
Look at this guy.
yeah, caught bullets with his beast teeth.
His beast teeth.
Yeah, I mean
Sounds like
that's
a brand
that's
of
an amazing
veneers.
feat. Maybe. Well, you're gonna see what he's about really soon. So he's talking about how we can't, creatures can't coexist. The world is about survival of the fittest. That's the 3rd time he said it, by the way. He who hunts is the winner. And he punches Fuko, but she guards this time. And he's like, if you don't want to die, you better hunt me. Please. Hunt me.
Hunt me.
And
I'm an animal.
so Top, yeah, please, yes. Hunt me good. So Top runs his family and Haruka, off, and I forgot Julia was there too. LOL. Runs them away from the forest and into the town, and realizes the animals aren't following them anymore. And he's like, maybe they're just locked to the forest. Who knows? And then Haruka says, "All right, I'm about to head to the forest." And Toppa's like, "What's wrong with you? Like, we can't beat him. Like, Fuko's struggling against him, and she was beating my ass. Like, what hope do we have?" And Unbreakable is like, "Listen, if I don't go now, I won't be able to call myself Unbreakable, much less human." And she screams that she's gonna join the quest. And yeah. So, okay, that looks like they're going to be a second member. Top is just standing there looking fearfully, and he has a big boy decision to make. So we come back to Fuko, and she's getting her ass beat by Beast. And he's standing there like Sagat with his knee up. No, what is he doing? Oh, he's like scratching his
He
head
does
with his
have it.
foot.
Oh,
I thought
that's worse.
I thought he had the tiger.
I didn't even see that. I thought he was
Yeah.
also stretching his leg. He's scratching his fucking head with his
Right.
foot.
He said, "Boy, you're the total opposite of injustice. Unluck can't be used unless you're fond of your foe. It ain't gonna do squat against us." Yeah, he must not know Fuko like that. She loves everyone.
Yeah.
Juiz chose the wrong vessel. to carry on the loop. If only you had Unbeast on your side, eh? And Fugo's like, that doesn't exist, and you know that, all right? Like, calm down, all right? There was that one time, with the Uma move and Unmove with Chikara. That was his name, I think, right? And Fugo says, "Oh, God treats this world like a game while leaving our side few past the victory. Your natural enemy isn't Unbeast. There's no such thing. That's the exact task of the three facing you right now." She's like, "Oh, Apocalypse, I'm calling it, yo. Transfer them points to these two people, which is Unbreakable and Top. As Beast turns into a fucking anaconda and is about to bite Fuko on the head, Top and Unbreakable pull up with the fucking drop kick all the way from town. That's some velocity, man." And he says, "You piece of crap. My name is Top Bull Sparks." And you know, Beast is very excited about this, and he's like, "You heard her, Apocalypse." And he's like, "Yeah, accepted." Like, shut up, you bastards.
You
You're
fucking
about to lose.
shut up, you book.
You're about to lose. Enjoy that smile. Yeah, right? Enjoy that smile while you can. You about to be mad again. This shit is routine. You know Fuko is the truth. She makes shit happen more than anybody else.
She's a go-getter. She gets it done.
Yeah, she really does. And she came from not being like that.
Yeah.
Mega character development. You can't stop that, Beast. You really can't.
No.
Definitely not with that whack ass snake.
No. Yeah. You're
You
gonna
better turn into something really scary like a big ass water bug.
Yeah. You're gonna need uncharacter development to take her down.
Yeah. That doesn't exist.
No.
So GG. Anyway, that was the end of the chapter. Chris, you got any thoughts?
Wow. This was really cool. This 2-page spread rules. I don't know. Something about cool drop kicks and axe kicks. This guy has unbreakable shoes on. He hit him with the unbreakable Nikes.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Love it. Yeah, but really cool. I always wondered that about like the amount of negators versus UMAs, and it's good to have that acknowledgement that there are not as many negators as there are UMAs.
Not
That's
even close.
Hmm?
Not even close.
Yeah, like there's not a lot of actual pairs of things that move that like link up together. There's not like counters, a whole ton of those. So that's really cool. I am understanding a little bit the lesson here that they're trying to get across with like survival of the fittest and whatnot, and it is a pretty solid lesson. Is the idea, like the reason that there, I guess, are rules in society is that these things are. It's a social contract. In order to coexist, we all have to agree on a certain set of normal, like just baseline acts, and and stuff that is not allowed, and also looking out for each other when things are tough. And I think that's what Beast is that he represents the ultimate logical conclusion of what Top was going for at the start of this arc, where the idea is you only look out for yourself. When you hunt something, it's yours, and anybody who tries to claim that, you should kill. And obviously the negators in the Union are the ideological opposite of that, where everybody sticks together, power, friendship, stuff like that. That is all true to an extent, even though to some it may seem like too idealistic. But yeah, that's the real, like, I guess, battle here. It's just the idea of selfishness versus community and coming together for a common goal. And I dig that. Also, Beast turning into an anaconda was kind of cool. That was pretty rad.
That was pretty rad.
Mm-hmm. But those are my thoughts. I thought it was a really good chapter. Josh, what did you think?
I really enjoyed this chapter too. Jujutsu Kaisen was fucking insane. So you know, it is what it is. But I agree with your analysis, and I think it's cool. I think it's constructed well. It, you know, kind of. I don't want to say. I don't think on the nose is the right way to put it. So I'm just not gonna really comment on that at all. What I am gonna say is that like I think to add on what you were saying, you know, within society, within that social construct, it's not just something that we subscribe to, you know, for the sake of doing it, but it's a matter of, you know, we believe that things can be made better. You know that you know not only are we safer, but we can improve so much more on life by being within contract of each other and respecting each other and working with one another. So, you know, I love that idea. I preach that. And Top is young, so it makes a lot of sense for someone like him to, you know, interpret the world in such a way because of the conditions around him. That's you know, and that's why I don't blame a lot of people in general, especially like in, you know, impoverished communities where there really isn't a drive, a community drive, you know, to understand like people, you know, their own material conditions and why it is the way it is around them and what can be done to make it better. And this, you know, this story here, this picture that the author of Undead Unluck, who I cannot remember their name, I'm sorry. Maybe Chris can pull it up real quick.
I think his name is Tozuka, but let me get his full name. Yeah.
Well, I'm stalling anyway.
Yes, stall.
Point is,
Yoshifumi. Yeah, I knew it. Yoshifumi Tozuka.
yeah, but yeah, that's why, you know, Tozuka. I lost my train of thought, but I think that's just the point. I think it was set up well that someone like Top, who is in those, you know, tough conditions, couldn't see a way out, and resorted to that type of lifestyle. So it's really deep. It's deeper. It's maybe, I think the word I was looking for earlier was that it's a little cheesy in a way, or maybe like another word I'm looking for. I think cheesy is the best word I could say right now. But it's a good message nonetheless. And I want them to beat the shit out of Beast. And then Top is gonna be like, he's gonna be a good boy for the rest of his life. And he's gonna dedicate his life to politics. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Political Top.
Yeah. Was those all your thoughts?
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
I'll have a little to add. I think like there ain't nothing wrong with a little cheesy message. You know, these are more pointed towards young adults more than anything. You know, teenagers and such. So I think like nothing wrong with a good little cheesy message there. It's important to not overcomplicate your story or your themes by having tons of gray sometimes. And Undead Unluck has always been this. This has always been, you know, the kind of vibe for the series. So yeah, I like it. I know that I love that Undead Unluck knows what it is, and it doesn't try to overcomplicate itself, because a lot of the time simple can be really damn good, and that's what Undead Unluck is. I think the more direct you can be with your themes and messaging, the more you can focus on character and, you know, all that stuff. So I think he's doing a great job, Yoshifumi Tozuka. But yeah, that's all my thoughts. We ready to wrap this one up, boys?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. All right, that was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Hey, we managed to make this a bit of a longer one than I expected, to be honest. We got here at 45 minutes. Very, very happy to get that at least. But yeah, we only have 2 series this week. I think everything will be back next week. One Piece, My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, Undead, and our new series that will drop on you guys just to, have a little bit of a buffer. I think we should have at least 3 series per week. So yeah, I'm excited to get that to you guys next week. It's going to be a big one. Very excited to get into that. But that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram. At New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. And you can check him out where he's streaming at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us on newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll answer all emails on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. It usually comes out like 2 days after the main show does, so this one it'll probably be out Wednesday. So yeah, do that up. Subscribe to us on a bunch of stuff. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you can think of that where you listen to podcasts. We're pretty much on there. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out.